Hello and welcome back to Nathan Bell's podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe and share with your friends. Today, Nate would like to talk about transgenderism.
Yeah, well, I think a lot about this transgender issue. Personally, I've never had any question about what gender I am or what sex I am. I'm a male. But, my idea of what is gender is really abstract because personally, my view is your sex is determined by your genitalia and your gender is more of an abstract, subjective idea about how a person should behave based on their genitalia. And my view is that I don't believe that men or women behave any particular way as the result of their genitalia. It's all psychology, and it's all also cultural conditioning. Because across cultures, some cultures men wear skirts, and that's the norm. And other cultures, women wear pants, and that's the norm. So I see those ideas as fluid ideas, which change depending on what culture and what period in history you look at. Because all throughout history, there have been cultures where men dress in women's clothing. So I personally, what I'm trying to say is, roles that society places on us for how we think a man or a woman should behave are fluid and are evolving and changing constantly and are constantly evolving and changing. And things about identity and identifying as a man or a woman, well, what does that really mean? I identify as a man. That is to say that we take the idea of a man and we say, this is how, is it about behaviour? If it's about behaviour and psychology and how one thinks, then we shouldn't say a man thinks this way or a man behaves this way and a woman thinks this way or a woman behaves that way, because those sorts of behavioural characteristics are always evolving with culture as culture evolves. So I'm sort of neutral. Like, I'm a man and I identify as a male and I'm a heterosexual male. I'm attracted to women. But really, I'm very, in my thinking, neutral, because if I want to behave like a woman, if you can say that is a thing, I'll do what I fucking want. It's none of your business what I do. So I'm really supportive of people who identify as the opposite sex. I don't have any hatred towards them because I believe people choose how they identify, and it's part of my view of liberalism and freedom that we are free and liberal to choose to identify however we want. That's how I interpret liberalism. So my liberalism is supportive of transgender because I believe it's your choice to determine how you identify. But the only thing I have an issue with it is that I don't personally believe that a man does this or that a woman does that. So when you say I'm a man who identifies with a woman's behavioural characteristics or psychology or actions, I don't think you can say that a woman behaves a certain way and that a man behaves a certain way. I think all human beings are individuals who just behave how they behave, and having a penis or a vagina doesn't define how you will behave or how your psychology will work. All those things are cultural expectations and cultural norms, which in my mind change and evolve and grow throughout the course of history. So I think I feel it's a bit misguided to say I am a man and because I want to behave this way or I want to wear these clothes, I identify that I should be a woman, because I see those things as things that are different and varied across cultures. So I think sex is defined by your genitalia, and that all other ideas are in flux and evolving and changing throughout history, and we can't really say that a man is this with regards to behaviour or a woman is that with regards to behaviour or psychology. I think, as I said in my video on gender roles and masculinity, all those things are really abstract, subjective ideas which evolve and change. But certainly, I've got no problem with transgender people, and I welcome them into my life. And I'm happy to be friends with transgender people. And I absolutely, as I said, my liberalism says it is your choice to identify however you want and to identify as whoever you want in life. That's why I have no problem with people being exactly who they want to be, and that's what liberalism means to me. It means be who you want to be. Be as much of a freak show as you want to be. You know, I consider myself a complete crazy freak show. Like, I'm a nut. Go and watch my videos and see some of the wacky things I believe in. I'm a complete nutcase freak show, and I'll be who I want to be. And you don't define me, and you don't tell me how to identify, and you don't tell me who to be. Like I said, the only thing I would say is I don't personally believe you can say that a man is this and a woman is this, and I think the only definer of what a man and a woman is their genitalia, and that's the only thing that defines what they are, because everything else outside of that I see as evolving and changing throughout history and across cultures. The other thing but I do want to say this about getting sex changes. I don't see that the technology is adequate yet. I totally respect people who want to get a sex change. If you want to have the different genitalia to what you have, that doesn't bother me. I don't have a problem with you wanting to do that. I would just say personally, I think the technology for sex changes isn't there yet. And I envision, and watch my videos, I talk about the future a lot and future technology a lot. I envision an era some 100 years in the future, some several hundred years in the future, where we can take a male and completely reconstruct their body and we can grow ovaries in a lab for them, we can grow a womb in the lab for them, and we can actually reconstruct their whole body so that they not only have ovaries and a womb, but that they can actually birth a child and become pregnant. And I'll be satisfied with sex change technology when we can take a man who was born a man and transform them so much that they can actually get pregnant and have a baby grow in them, and then give birth to that baby, and the baby is alive and functioning. And that is when I will see that the technology is at a point where people can really get sex changes. So like I said, I don't mind that you want to get a sex change. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's your business how you identify. But personally, I don't think the technology can actually deliver a complete sex change yet. And I look forward to a day where we have the technology to completely and correctly and completely change someone's sex so that they can be who they desire to be and be who they want to be. But personally, at this stage, I don't think the technology is really at a level where you can say the person is really getting their sex changed. Now, I don't care if that offends people, because the man who turns into a woman can't give birth to a baby. When the technology is at a point where the man who turns into a woman has ovaries and a womb and can grow a baby inside of them, and can give birth to a baby, then I will consider that we have the technology to properly change someone's sex. And I look forward to that day, and I welcome that day, and I hope that day comes soon for those people who want to become the opposite sex, so that they can go the full way and completely become the opposite sex. But I don't think the technology exists yet to do that properly. Anyway, so there's some of my thoughts about transgender. Welcome transgender people into my life. Don't think the technology's there to really provide a proper sex change yet, and don't think that men and women behave in any certain particular way or think any certain particular way because they have a certain genitalia, and the defining point of sex is what genitalia you have. And those are my views on the subject. So drop a comment in the comment section about what you think about transgender.